What's going on, Flight Sim Crew? This is your pilot in command, Ryan, and today I've got more of a landing challenge in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I'm going to start off here by showing a little bit of footage of the Halo Pelican flying around Hong Kong because, you know, why not? The Pelican, as you'll notice, is in appropriate colors for the mainland China. So hopefully they will approve of my color choice, and if not, that's fine. They've probably banned me already, and they've probably banned this game as well. So just while this footage is playing, I wanted to go over. So in Microsoft Flight Simulator, they have something called a landing challenge, which I kind of highly recommend anyone try, even if you're not into aviation, just because it shows you the complexity and the difficulty of landing in less than ideal circumstances. So the first one I did, I was landing in Reno, Nevada under a snowstorm, the blizzard, and the runway was frozen solid. So it took every ounce of what I could muster in terms of braking, aerodynamic braking, and reverse thrusters to bring that plane to a stop. But I did, and I passed that landing challenge. I'm not showing that one today. I don't think I recorded that one at the time because I didn't think I was actually going to land the aircraft. And what I'm going to show you today is it's called a Cessna Citation, a very popular high-end private jet. So this would be, something that's any person of high means that doesn't want to deal with the traffic of LA might be flying might charter to have a pilot fly one of these. And I mean, they're beautiful aircraft, I'll be honest. If I had the opportunity to fly one of these and be trained on it, I said that backwards, had the opportunity to be trained on one of these and then I could fly it professionally, I would jump on that in a heartbeat. It's a beautiful aircraft, great for just seating a few people. So it's kind of like a glorified, I don't want to call it an RV, but I guess you could probably modify the inside to have some sleeping arrangements. But yeah, let's call it a glorified RV on wings. Someone's going to be upset with my analogy on that. Let me have it in the comment section. Anyhow, the Cessna Citation is landing in an airport which I was completely unfamiliar with, and I'm going to show you my initial just blind take of just like, okay, let's try to do this. It's an instrument landing approach, which I've not been trained and I'm not certified on. So nothing about what you're about to see should be considered actual aviation. This is simply a video game, and just that's all. So in my trainings, I hope to become very competent on ILS landings, and hopefully years from now I will look back on this and chuckle at my lack of experience in this. So without further ado, I'm going to hop into the video and we'll talk more about what's going on, and I'll explain to you as we roll. Alright, so this is the Cessna Citation, and we are in terrible visibility, full cloud cover. We will not be able to see anything at all, really, until we're right on top of the airport. So in this circumstance, ILS approach is going to be instrument only. So this is where a pilot is focusing on his knowledge of the airport that he's flying to, which I'll get into that later. And he's relying off of his instruments. You will see me occasionally go to an external view just to be like, oh, where am I? Oh, ground. Yeah. So as you can see here, just in my very first run, completely overflew the airport. So that's the runway I should have been landing on. And as you can see, that landing's not going to happen. We're going to do, we'll call it a go-around, just to save face. But really, that was not going to help. You can also see that the aircraft is currently in an overspeed condition. That is something that you never want to have happen. and I've gotten the speed back down, but that was mostly due to the fact that I went full throttle when I knew that I was not going to make the airport, and now I'm trying a 60-degree bank, which you would never do with passengers on board, and then we're going to try again. So round two, going into this, I realized I had no knowledge of where I was flying and what was going on, so it's time for me to do a little bit of preliminary research. So I'm going to hop over to ForeFlight. ForeFlight is an application that is put together by Boeing and is made to help pilots. As you can see right here, this is ForeFlight, and that is North Carolina, where I primarily fly out of. However, I'm going to type in the airport code for this Ugandan airport, and let's see what wisdom ForeFlight can give me. Okay, so it's an airport. It doesn't have the same aeronautical charts that we have in the United States, but no big deal. It's right on the end of an island, and I'm going to try to save you guys some of my popping through here, but basically the critical things I'm going to be looking for is the length of the runway heading numbers, so I know where to orient my aircraft on its approach so that it can land on that. And also I will be looking at the elevation of the runway, because it's very important. So I'm spoiled by flying at sea level. So at sea level, everything is within 15-20 feet of sea level, so it's not a big concern. But obviously when you fly anywhere else, if the airport is at 3,000 feet, which I believe this one is, you want to make sure that that's your floor when you're flying and you're looking at your altimeter. Your altimeter is just giving you information based off of mean sea level, and if you're landing at a runway on a mountain, don't use the zero of your altimeter at mean sea level to tell you that things are going to be safe, because unfortunately the ground will come up to meet you in a catastrophic way. So now that I've got my runway heading, it does look like there's a little bit of a magnetic deviation. That's not a big deal. I think it's only plus or minus 2. And we can see some winds for today, because again, ForeFlight is real time. It's used by pilots. Okay, so now I'm going to cut over to just Google Maps view, and I'm going to go to satellite view because this is a lot more helpful. I can see there's runway 17. Did I say 17? It's 17, so that would be a compass heading of 170. And this just gives me a look of the area. I can see where any residential areas are. I can see what the alternate runways are. Some airports will have a left and a right runway that has the exact same number. So like Moscow Airport, if you want to look that up, I think has as many as 4. So this is just all good information. A pilot would always get this information prior to departure. You never get this on the fly. You do your homework, you know where you're flying, and that way you are prepared from takeoff until landing to safely fly the aircraft and deal with any unusual things that may come. So, okay, I've got a 8-knot crosswind, and it gave me my speeds there that it wants me to achieve at various parts of the descent. Now, ILS is going to have a built-in glide slope. Glide slope is simply how low you are getting until you reach the runway. Because I'm not familiar with this airplane, I will not know how to hit that glide slope. So, for lack of a terrible saying to go with avionics, I'm going to be winging it. So, let's see how I do here. So as you can see, there's a lot of cloud cover. Hopefully I'll get this navlog off because it's just in our way. And I'm going to choose not to even bother looking out the cockpit windows because it's not going to help me. So here I'm focusing on my instruments, and you can see there my artificial horizon. I'm blanking on its other official name right now, but it's telling me right now I'm turning, and I'm going to be turning to the runway heading. I'm also watching my altitude. Again, that 3,000 and some change is where the runway is. So even if I up higher. I don't want to go anywhere close to that low of a threshold. And now I'm going to back off on my throttle and begin to put another notch of flaps in. So this is just a straight beeline in. There's an entire procedure for ILS which I have not learned yet, so I'm not going to pretend to tell you that this is a proper ILS. As a matter of fact, you can see I got a little low. I got below my glide slope, so in that circumstance you really have to add a lot of throttle when you're in a landing configuration to gain your altitude back. But you can see here I'm coming in fast, but I look like I'm making good progress, so let's see what happens here. That blue right there is the ILS touchdown marker. Alright, so I touched it. I apologize to my passengers who might have had their drinks flown up in their face, but I'm on the center line, full braking, engines are idle, and would you look at that? If they had given me a C-, I would have believed them. I don't think any of my passengers today are going to charter me in the future, not after that bump of a landing, but yeah, not too bad. Also, one thing, I don't believe that would be considered a hard